Today we're going to talk about how to talk comfortably on YouTube. Recently, I've gotten a bunch of these kinds of videos on my feed, and I think it's because the content creators that I follow are kind of addressing this issue, it's like top of mind for everybody. I wouldn't call it a elephant in the room because everyone knows about it, but it is something that almost everybody has to tackle at some point, especially if they haven't started their YouTube channel yet. So I've broken it down to about 6 different areas that I think if these are addressed, then you will definitely be able to improve your videos and how comfortable you are talking on these videos. So the first thing is script versus no script. Now this is a big one for me because I find that when I have a script, I choke up a lot. And that's because I'm so concerned with getting all the details. There's areas of the video, it's just sections of the video, that require me to be very specific. So the problem there is I'm kind of trying to do 3 things at once. I'm trying to be comfortable on camera and look very natural. The other thing is if I had an actual camera operator, things would probably be a lot different because when I'm not concerned, I'm not thinking about how I am in the frame, if we're in focus. Today I'm shooting with the DJI Action 4, so I don't have to worry about focus. And I can see the screen, so I can see that I'm on frame. So those issues are a little bit solved. But when the light changes, my mind goes to, oh, should I, shift my position or should I change the settings in the camera to adjust for that? So my mind is kind of in 2 places at once. So it becomes 3 places when I have to think about all the script points that I want to hit. Instead of just losing myself in the subject and talking, which you can do usually quite easily on generic kind of vlog videos. So all of that makes my head kind of spin and I end up doing 15, 20, I've done like 25 takes sometimes. And at the end of one of those sessions, I feel like such a failure. I feel like I'm terrible at this. But then I'll come out here like this and do a little walk and talk and 1 or 2 takes and I'm good. So we're all kind of good at different things and I can get better at those other things. Warm up. To me, warm up, you don't have to do like jumping jacks and push-ups and shaking out your body, which I saw a YouTuber do this week on a video addressing this exact issue. Hey, it works for him and that's great. But you don't necessarily need to do that. What you might want to try is what I do here today is I'll hit record and I just kind of ease into what I'm actually trying to record. So I don't go directly like, okay, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this, and then hit the record button and then action and I'm on point. It's a little bit easier to kind of glide into the subject. So how do you do that? Well, how I do it is I'll hit record like this, I'll reach up, hit the record button, and then I'm not on cue gonna start action. I'm not gonna start hitting my points then. Okay, the recording's on, camera's on, I'm here at the creek. Okay, so I've got my notes here on my phone, and I just kind of speak what my mind is thinking. And you can see I have my notes right here. I can keep them up in the screen and everything. I may take them away after when I'm actually ready to hit my points. Am I standing in a good spot? My frame looks pretty good. And I'm gonna talk about how to talk comfortably on YouTube today. I'm gonna hit the point about that I'm getting a lot of these videos in my feed. My first point is gonna be script versus no script. And then now I'm gonna talk about warming up. So in order to warm up, you don't have to think so much about doing jumping jacks and push-ups like I saw a YouTuber doing this week on one of his videos addressing this issue. See how I'm repeating myself now, but that's how I kind of got into that part of the recording. I just kind of flowed and eased my way into it. So it's another method to try. It brings up another point, is what's on my mind. And what I mean by that is, who am I talking to in these videos? And here's a key point that isn't always addressed, but I think that you should be speaking to one person. You should not be speaking to necessarily a real person, doesn't have to be a real person. It can be a culmination of the aspects of who you think your audience is, but it shouldn't be your actual audience. You shouldn't be thinking of, say you have 1,000 subscribers, you should not be talking to 1,000 subscribers, because then you end up doing this dead giveaway, which is kind of off-putting to me, which is where you are a YouTuber that basically says, hey guys, and you know, if you guys, you know, they keep saying that constantly, I just find that it's very disconnecting, because I'm saying to myself, like, there's not a bunch of guys here, it's just me, I'm watching the video. And in most cases, that's what's happening. Most people are actually just watching the video by themselves on their phone, or their computer, their TV, whatever. And that's the reality. Not to criticize anyone else's work. I'm by far not a perfect person at this, but it's just some food for thought. If you speak to someone like as if they're a crowd of people, then in a sense you feel like, as the viewer, like, oh, he's not talking to me, or she's not talking to me. So you feel disconnected. So if you want that connection, I think it's important that you speak to an individual. Okay, I'm gonna look at my notes. Curating in the edit, or fix it in the edit. Not like you've created a problem, like with when you're actually shooting a film, they say don't try to fix everything in the edit, try to get it right when you're shooting. But in the realm of content creation for YouTube and when you're filming yourself, realistically, you're recording a lot more. You're not going by a script like a movie script. So you're recording a lot more, and you're gonna cut out redundancies, you're gonna cut out mistakes, you're gonna cut out stuff that just doesn't look good, if you're going for an aesthetic. Not only is there nothing wrong with doing it like that, it's actually an advantage because you're a little bit less critical as you speak, as you perform, as you talk to the camera. Don't worry so much. Everything you record not only does not need to be in the final edit, it shouldn't be in the final edit. You're trying to create brevity. You're trying to shorten to the minimal amount of talking or video footage to prove your point or to tell your story. Because more than that is redundant. More than that can become boring. Now, if there's an artistic reason to continue and show a few different examples of something, of course, that's something different. No one should step on your creative vision, including myself. But if you're just doing it because you're not thinking it, you're thinking, hey, I spent a bunch of time filming all these shots, they're all good shots, I want them all in there. Try to think of what the messaging is in the chapter, in the scene, in the entire video, what it is you're trying to get across, and did you already do it? Did you do it with a couple of words and a B-roll shot? Or did you do it without B-roll shot? Or did you do it with just B-roll shots? All you're trying to do is say, you know what? When I record, it's one thing. When I edit, it's a complete other thing. And just as a side note, I've already spoken for 13 minutes. By this point, I guarantee I'm not at the 13-minute mark in the video, because I will have cut out a lot of useless things where some may have been mistakes. I haven't made a ton of what I would call complete mistakes, but I've probably been quite redundant. Another key point is to know yourself and what works for you. So you might not know that at all right now. You may have to do a lot more experimentation. If you know who you are, as far as the types of things that work for you, like I was mentioning earlier, how I kind of turn on the camera and then start easing my way into it. Maybe you're fine just hitting it and going. Maybe the only way that you can really feel comfortable is by having a teleprompter. Maybe a teleprompter makes you too stiff and robotic. So then you have to learn another way. But just be honest with yourself. That's one great thing about creating content and recording with cameras is that you get to look back at your footage before it even goes out to the world, and you can criticize. Now, hopefully you're not criticizing to the point where you're stopping the flow of that video getting out to the world completely. But there's nothing wrong with being a little bit critical and saying what's working and what's not working. And then again, you have to at some point call it and say, it's pretty good. I'm gonna put this out there and let me pick one thing. And you just take that one thing and you work on that on your next video, because you may find 7 or 8 or 10 things. And if you try to fix them all, you're gonna burn out. Don't run around and try to, look for tips for everything and just lose yourself in other people's ideas. But you should pick what works for you. So the last point we have here is sometimes it's just gonna be hard. And the importance of understanding that is not to demotivate you and make you feel like, you know what, it's too hard. The importance of it is that sometimes when you know something's hard, you have no problem putting in the work or being a little more patient with yourself in getting there. But when you think it's supposed to be easy, which unfortunately a lot of these gurus on the internet will try to bring it across like, just buck up and do it. It's easy. It's really simple. I'll tell you how to do this super quick in record time. You can get your 4,000 hour watch time in like 4 or 6 weeks. I call BS. You can get lucky, but you don't train for luck. You train for the goal and a realistic way to achieve that goal. So I know that it's going to be a little more work, and hopefully not my whole video is that, but at least if I can put sections in the video like that, then I'll take those sections and I'll put those in as like, okay, here is going to be the hard work, and I do the hard work. And then give myself a little bit of a break and find sections in the video where it doesn't matter so much. I have spoken so much on here that's been completely and utterly redundant. Some of it I'm gonna leave in, most of it I'm gonna cut out. But I hope this was helpful. If it was, give me a couple of thumbs up, maybe 3. 1 or 3, not 2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you keep at this, because the world needs to hear what you have to say as well. And I will catch you in the next one.